Welcome back guys to Singles Inferno. This season is so crazy that I had to make like more than one video for every episode. Usually when I do dating show reviews, I upload one video covering 2 or 3 episodes. But in this case, in season 4 of Singles Inferno, there are so many lessons here that I had to make just this video for all the lessons that we're gonna learn right now. Now for those of you that don't know me, hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Giovanni. If you met me 10 years ago, you would have seen a shy, dorky, quiet guy who couldn't express himself, couldn't read social cues. Since then, I've acquired some basic social skills. I'm still kind of a nerd, kind of a dork, but hopefully on this channel, I can share all the lessons I learned with you over the last decade. So you can learn all the skills you need in dating and socializing in a fraction of the time that it took me. With that said, let's get into episode 10 on Singles Inferno.
Come on, how do you like being in paradise for the second time with me?
Okay, so from the cliffhanger from last episode, we find out that Junso is not asleep. He did not fall asleep on this girl, and he's actually awake.
How did this second trip happen again?
Jeez.
So Junso is basically asking for validation because he got so little validation from Seon during their whole date, right? She wasn't giving him anything. She was actually testing him a lot. And he's like, now that they're more relaxed, they just come out of taking a shower, I suppose. They're in their bathrobes. He's like, well, who made this happen? That's right. Daddy did. I did.
Because you won the game. You won first place.
And here you can see Seon kind of cave to his frame, right? Finally, when they're finally relaxed, he's like, who's the dominant one? She's like, you are. And she gives him this one moment, but then right away, she goes to test him again. Watch.
That's right.
Do you think it was worth coming here again?
What? I'm not fit for how fast-paced this whole thing is. How do we make such an important decision in just a day or two?
I'm not telling you to make a decision. I'm just asking how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling good right now.
Junso is feeling good because in his mind, he's decided that this is the girl I'm gonna chase. So in every guy's head, there's this point of like no return where we're gonna go after this girl with everything we've got and that's it. I've noticed this a lot when I'm with my friends in Asia where they're like, I'm gonna go after this girl, do or die.
I think Asian guys have less sex appeal.
It's not that Asian men have less sex appeal or whatever, but I think they don't know how to be attractive or talk to women. White families, when I come over to their houses, they're at the dinner table talking about their relationships, right? And then their parents are giving that advice. Like, you don't get that in an Asian household. Asian values are so much around education or like money. That's why I see so many
high achieving academically,
Yeah.
but then, man, you get no cheeks.
And in America, I have friends who have different predisposition.
These hoes ain't loyal.
They're like, I'm gonna date a lot of girls.
I got pros in different areas.
And if one of them gets along with me, I'm gonna do that, right?
Then why can't you be a little sweeter towards me?
This is who I am. What can I do about that?
That's a very important thing to say. He's basically saying, look, you know who I am. I've shown you who I am from the beginning, right? And he's like, you want me to change who I am? I thought you liked that I was dominant. I'm the type of guy that moves at his own pace. That was what she liked about him. But now she's asking him, well, yeah, but with that comes like this roughness that I don't like. Can you just change a little bit for me? And he's like, I'll try, but is that even possible? This is really who I am.
I'll try to change though.
And then with that sentence, he caves. He's like, this is who I am. Okay, but I'll try for you, right? And this is where I think a little bit of frame battle gets lost, especially when a relationship starts to develop, is like, who's gonna cater to who? So far, everyone's catering to Seon, but she hasn't really made any changes herself. All she has done so far is, this is what I want, and can you guys give it to me?
You could be more gentle with me. Be gentle with me, please.
Oh, okay.
Have I ever been gentle with you before?
Yeah, you were yesterday.
Yesterday? I'll give it a shot.
In this case, it's really important for a guy to take a pause and say, can you give me an example? Right? Because Seon's not very good at giving specifics. And so when she says these like sphinx-like, riddle-like phrases, like you were gentle with me yesterday, I would ask what we call a clarifying question. Clarifying question is, what was it about yesterday that made you feel like I was gentle with you? Okay? And what happened today that made you feel like I was not gentle with you? Can you give me some specific examples? With the specificity, he'll be able to gather the intelligence he needs to say, oh, I shouldn't be saying, hey, the way I address you should be a little more soft, polite. He would know that, oh, because I was asking you for your feedback, about how you felt the first day, that's what you liked about it. So without those data points, he's just guessing as to what she means when she says be more gentle with me. Make sense?
Don't ask me for a high five right now.
So this high five really encapsulates the difference between those two, right? Junso is easygoing, he's chill. I think Minso, if she was here with him, she would have high-fived him and they would have hugged. But Seon's the type of girl who, when you're, in that situation with her, okay, I'll be more gentle with you, and then you go up and you touch her cheek like this. And then if the calibration's there, you might even go for a kiss, right? She's looking for that sweetness, that romantic illusion fantasy vibe, and Junso is more like masculine dominant, but he's more like direct. Okay, she wants everything basically. She wants the guy to be dominant, but she doesn't like what comes with that. She also wants the guy to be sweet and generous, but also she wants that authenticity. So she's not getting what she wants, everything that she wants in one person. But what she does know is that every other Korean guy is being sweet and thoughtful to her, and now Junso, this dark horse, comes with this dominant masculine energy, and she's never experienced it before as a young 25-year-old girl. And she's like, I'm attracted to this and I don't know why, right? But I'm also like, nah, I'm trying to get to know you, but I also don't like that you're very rough with me. It's very hard to date a girl like this because, as I said from the first episode, if you guys recall, it's very painful to date someone who don't know who they are and don't know what they want.
Like what Seon mentioned, it does go both ways when it comes to making an effort to find a happy medium.
Yeah.
He ain't lying.
But at the same time, you shouldn't attempt to fix or change the person you're trying to be with.
You're goddamn right. You shouldn't try to change the other person to the way you want them to be.
The hosts are trying to figure this out, so I'm going to give you guys a lesson here. When you're trying to figure out if you want to be in a relationship with someone, there are what we call core values and then what we call variable values, right? Core values are the things that are so instrumental to your identity that those things don't change in your lifetime. Variable values are the things that we pick up over time that we can kind of calibrate. I'll give you an example. Recently, I went to Indonesia to visit one of my college friends. I haven't seen this guy in 20 years, but as soon as we hung out, I could tell that my core values and his core values haven't changed in 20 years since college. One of my core values is like, I've never cheated on any of my girlfriends, right? And in my head, the idea of even cheating, gambling, or doing drugs is so far out of my reality based on how my parents raised me and who I am, that I can't even really process sometimes why someone would do something like that. Now, those are core values are never going to change. You're never going to convince me that someone cheating on someone somehow is a good thing, okay? That's never going to happen with me. Now, variable values are, in a relationship, I can be open to the idea that after 5-10 years, maybe if I had a partner that we may want to explore sexually with somebody else after we have kids, or I'm okay with the fact that maybe we're not going to be with just each other sexually for the rest of our lives. At the same time, I'm also okay with the fact that I was very satisfied with my last girlfriend and I'm okay being with her and I don't feel the need to be with anyone else sexually. That's a variable value that for me actually has changed over time over the last 10 years. But my core value is I have to be honest with my partner no matter what. I'm very direct, there's no secrets. For some people, the idea of like opening up a relationship to other partners is so instrumental to who they are that they cannot relate to that, right? So let's say she's Christian or she's very conservative. It's never gonna happen with her. That's her core value. For me, that's a variable value. I'm okay either way. I'm leaning more towards traditional and conservative, but I'm open to the idea. So different people have different core values. And Seon doesn't even really know what her core values are. She just knows she wants to have a fun, interesting life. I feel like she needs to be single for a while. She mentioned in her first interview,
I admit that I've constantly been in relationships.
she says, I'm always in a relationship. And I think because of this, she needs to be single for a while, not lead these guys on, and just discover who she is and what she wants out of life. Junsu, I think, is a guy who needs to be with a woman who is direct with him, who understands that he's a wild horse and is okay with him roaming free in the fields, and then coming back to her. He's a dark horse. That's his nature. It's impossible to change that.
People don't change drastically for someone else. It's so rare to find someone that would do that.
And even if you do change drastically for somebody else, you're going to resent the other person. Drastic change always happens because there's a self-motivator. Something happened to you that made you want to change. It can't be for somebody else.
Even just asking that of him is pushing it.
Yeah,
she knows he isn't that kind of person.
Dahi is correct, right? She's recognizing that Seon's requests are almost unreasonable, right? This is what you liked about this guy, but then with that dominance comes this, directness, and she doesn't want that. She's like basically picking out things that she doesn't like. This is what you liked him for, and now you're resenting him for it.
Saying things like, you weren't like this yesterday, you used to be different, just shows that she's dwelling on the past.
Not just dwelling in the past, but just the lack of specificity. What exactly I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't understand. Give me specific examples. rules.
And Chunso doesn't think he's changed, so he keeps saying,
Yeah, he
I've always
hasn't.
been like this.
Right, so now they have miscommunication. He's like, I've always been like this. This is who I am. I'm showing you exactly who I am. And somehow you're attracted to me, but you want me to change. What?
Something's definitely there. He has to tell me how he feels. So I can sort my feelings out. Why do I have to suffer like this?
She's cute.
I feel so lost and confused right now. That's what I'll say.
How are you so funny?
I swear, I couldn't even sleep, Chunso.
Mingso is role-playing as if these girls were Junso, and she's basically annoyed at him that he didn't pick her. She's so cute. I actually think these two would get along really well because they're both very like wear the heart on their sleeves. They're not Sphinx-like and kind of confused like Seon. I'm gonna tell you my prediction for the last 2 episodes. We're filming this as of February 9th. At the end of this, but Mingso, if she's lucky, Junso will wise up and pick her, and I think in terms of compatibility, they would actually work out pretty well.
All my roommates thought I'd go, so we even exchanged goodbyes.
Oh, nice one.
Better say that.
You should.
The kid is very cute.
Minseol really brightens the mood in Inferno.
That's
I'm
so
so
true.
grateful for her presence, truly.
She's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I really do love her positive energy.
There are women who bring you up and bring people around her up, and then there are women who act entitled and confused and just like everything caters to me. And I think when you literally look at like the little clips that they insert in this show between like girls like Mingso, for example, or Yujin versus Seon, you start to see the difference between long-term, right? What type of person, what type of temperament this person has. And I would argue that most guys would end up happier long-term with girls who are already, they're all pretty on the island, but have a more pretty, optimistic, friendly disposition rather than one who's like a hot, sexy girl. Because I get a lot of comments like, oh, this guy is so full of himself. I'm not telling you this to impress you. I'm telling you this to impress upon you that because of my past, I was driven by trauma to like get the hottest girl, that once I did, it still didn't make me happy. So I'm actually telling you this not to impress you, but I'm telling you this as a warning. Once you sleep with that really hot girl, once, twice, a couple of times, for some of you, maybe like you need to try a few different girls of that caliber to just prove to yourself that you can do it. You start realizing that that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to find a girl who looks attractive enough to you, who has all the qualities that you want, that make you smile every day, that make you feel loved, safe, and not doubtful at all. And I guarantee you that if someone ends up with Seon and they start dating her, after a while, as they start dating, they're going to find a lot of problems with her personality. I'm not even faulting her. She's just at that phase where she doesn't know who she is and she doesn't know what she wants. And so because of that, she's gonna lead the guy through a lot of stuff. Mixed with like a little bit of entitlement, right? Which is like, people cater to me. Every boyfriend I've ever had chased me, catered to me. That's what she expects now. Right? She hasn't had the bitter taste of aging, for example, like I have, or having someone perhaps that have more options than her. She's never experienced that before. So it's a very difficult situation for the guys to be in. And when you date a girl like Mingso, or I would argue Yujin, they're fun to be around, they're friendly. You can, after sex, you're like friends with her. You actually feel like you're with your best friend. It's a completely different experience, and I hope that all of you get to experience that at some point in your lives. And again, this is just my experience. You know, I could be wrong, but I'm just giving you, I guess, my insights from a guy who's been on that side of the fence.
On the helicopter, she had her head on Junso's shoulder next to me. I can be a bit on the conservative side.
Oh, okay.
I find those things unacceptable, so it definitely got me thinking.
Oh, I didn't know he was conservative.
This is what we call white knighting, right? I don't like this guy Chunso at all. I don't like him at all. So I think he misled a lot of girls. He was dishonest, and he just like changes his mind a lot. The only time I liked him was when he was with Yujin, and they were kind of like brother-sister teasing. I got to see like the lie side of him. But here he's what we call white knighting, which is like, oh, he's with the girl, she's leaning her head on his shoulder, so therefore, you know, it's unacceptable, it's not traditional.
I am not going to let you hurt Jamie again, okay? Besides, I love her.
Well, so do I.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm the best friend, and I have been in front of her face the whole time, and she hasn't really realized it yet, but she will.
Oh, really? Well, I'm the reformed cool guy who's learned the error of his ways. She's gonna forgive me for my mistakes and realize that I really love her.
Damn it, that's true.
White knighting is when like someone uses the moral righteousness card, which is like, you're a lady, you shouldn't be kissing him at the club, or like, oh, you're a classy girl, you shouldn't be holding hands, you don't know him yet. But secretly he's like, he wants to get into her pants, right? Wine knighting is a very powerful strategy, especially in Asian culture because of societal expectations, which is like, you shouldn't be doing that, young lady, and not cool. It's a weapon that people use when they lose, okay? It's basically like he's being a sore loser.
Like, I'm a bit hung up on Min-sol. He said something like that. He mentioned your name, and I was so shocked.
Seriously, Kim Min-sol, that girl. Look, she's grinning. I really thought that he only saw me as a younger sister, or even just as a friend. But to know that he was thinking about me over there in paradise?
Wait for it.
I feel sorry for Seon, but it was pleasing to hear.
She's empathetic, right? She's like, I feel sorry for Seon, which Seon doesn't show any empathy to any of the other girls. She's just the queen bee. And Min-sol's like, I feel sorry for her, but then I was very happy, haha. She's very cutesy, she's dorky, she's not afraid to let people see that dorky side of her. I think she's a great catch, okay? Not the conventionally attractive beauty standard, Korean beauty standard, but I find her extremely attractive, just based on her personality alone. Okay, the girls have to push each other off a buoy on the pool. This is actually quite fun to watch. It goes on for like half an hour, and they compete pretty hard for first, second, and third place to be able to choose which guys they want to go on dates with.
Babe.
I mean, honestly, all of them have great figures. That's what I noticed from this scene. But in particular, Seon's really smart. She's waiting in the last round with 3 people. Seon sits out on the side and waits for these 2 to compete, and then watch.
Well, she flipped her.
Whoa, it's practically over now.
Final rankings of the women's game for a date in paradise. In first place, Seon.
Seon wins by flipping Haelin over.
Second place,
Haelin.
Park Hae-lin. Third place, Chong Yoo-jin.
Good job, good job. I gotta say, after this scene, I kind of like respected Seon more, and I kind of like was more empathetic towards her. She's a great competitor, she's fierce, and she strategically won the round. So props and credit to Seon. One thing I do want to note here, I think there's an important life lesson, which is you gotta separate the myth and the legend from the real person. There are YouTubers that I've met that have like millions of followers that were like really mean people. There are men who are great at meeting women, you know, attracting women, who are terrible people. Conversely, there are men who I think would make amazing boyfriends who have no idea how to meet women. So you have to separate people's accomplishments outside of dating with their dating skills. Make sense? It's unfortunate, right? Because you have someone who is very skilled at one area, but then they might not be a good person. And then you have someone who's a great person, but they don't have the skills to show people that they're a great person, especially in a relationship. That's my point here. I'm not saying Seon is a bad person. I'm just saying that she's a difficult person to date because of where she's at now with her maturity, emotional maturity. And this next scene perfectly illustrates why.
Ask as if by chance, since you're coming back from paradise, as we finish this experience, if your heart's leaning more towards Chun-seo.
Taeyo's super cool, man. I like this guy so much. He's basically saying, look, we had 2 days left. You know, you've been in paradise every single day. I need to know like how you feel about me, right? He's basically setting a limit very nicely. And it's perfectly fair for him to ask her that.
After going to paradise with Chun-seo twice, my feelings for him have grown. But that doesn't mean I'm all set on Chun-seo.
I think she drags this out a little bit too long. She should just say like, look, you're not my top 2 choice. It takes her like a while to get to this point.
But rather than hearing it from someone else, it's better you hear it from me.
I think I'm making you uncomfortable.
No, he's not. He's perfectly entitled to ask her this at this point in the game. He's like, I'm fully committed to you. If you're not, let me know. That's a perfectly fair thing to say at this point.
It's Chun-seo.
Yeah.
Or Jung-soo.
Okay, I'm third.
I'll decide between them.
Okay.
Thank you, finally. It took you 10 episodes to get here. Wow, wild. She should have told him that, like, you know, by episode 5, I think. Twice as long as it should have taken, in my opinion. Okay, guys, we're finally done with episode 10. Consider subscribing if you're enjoying these videos. And if you're looking for some help in your own dating life, check out the free resources in the links in the YouTube description. I'm going to be reviewing the last 2 episodes and the finale. Those will be uploaded soon. Enjoy.